Introducing the all-new Corolla.
Bill 215, or the Joaquin Concepcion Compassionate Cannabis Use Act of 2013, is just steps away from potentially finding a spot in the next general election. While its medical and health effects have been widely debated on island, another aspect that has not received as much attention is in its law enforcement aspect. Attorney General Lenny Rapadas explains.
There are certain things that I'm concerned about, and that's the abuse by children, and the abuse and just the increase of another substance out there that'll cause harm to the community.
The bill was up for discussion in this month's session. If passed by the legislature and signed by the governor, it will be a binding referendum in the next election where residents can vote it into law.
We're just going to have to understand as citizens that if medical marijuana does become law, if the people vote for it, they also have to understand that there's going to be an abuse. There will be abuse, whether they like it or not. So that's something that people are going to have to decide for themselves.
The Attorney General says he's had discussions with attorneys general in jurisdictions where marijuana is legal both for medicinal use and recreational purposes, and the results aren't good in terms of abuse.
There have been concerns raised by my fellow attorneys general in those particular areas, and also the states that are just pure medical marijuana states. But unfortunately, what is being seen in those states is that kids are getting more and more access to medical marijuana and just marijuana.
The bill introduced by Senator Tina Muñoz-Barnes would authorize a qualified patient or their qualified caregiver to possess an adequate supply of cannabis to alleviate symptoms of a debilitating medical condition.
And you know, frankly, as law enforcement, I don't want to see minors. I don't want to see a 3, 4, 5-year-old ingesting edibles, marijuana-laced cookies, brownies, because those are things that follow when these sorts of things are legalized. There are numerous cases of minors, kids, 4-year-olds, being hospitalized because they ate a brownie that had that was laced with marijuana, and it was intended for marijuana for medical use.
AG Rapadas emphasizes how the child abuse aspect of the bill will affect his office, especially with the drug's notoriety on this island.
But when you get into a situation where you have minors, children, ingesting it accidentally or intentionally, then we'll get into other areas like child abuse. And those are the things that I don't want to see happen. And will that increase my caseload? Obviously, I believe it will.